78 car in our Grand National A feature. 21 entries tonight in this one. 21 of 150 cars that are here at the I80 Speedway. Let's take a look at the starting grid in row number 1 of our Grand National A. Jeff Bonney in the 95 and Glenn Roby in the 8-ball car. Row number 2. Behind them, Dave Jorgensen and Gary Jones. Row number 3, Terry Hurt, Jason Hopscheid in the 78 car. Butch Lavelle in the 1 and Maynard Kinnersley in the 18. Row number 5, Carl Gray in the 0 car. Justin Hopscheid in the 11. Row number 6, Mike Collins in the 3 and Steve Light in the 9. The number 7 car, row number 7 rather, John Kinney Jr. in the K9 and Chuck Rankin in the 03. Row number 8, Tom Barna in the 22X, Ken Chimini. Row number 9, Tom Clabundi in the 29T and Billy Schreiner in the 69, and Ernest West and Chad Zuber in row number 10. Row 11, Brad Perdue and Chris Ureth. And in row number 12, all by himself, it's Mike Kudlacek in the 2X.
Speaking of Jason Hopscheid, don't let that rookie status fool you. He's been trained by the best. Does the Kaziskis ring a bell?
Very much
He's
so.
worked for them for a long time and basically learned everything he knows from them. So he's labeled a rookie, but I don't consider him a rookie.
You know, the Kaziskis are certainly the first family of racing in this part of the state, probably in Nebraska, and one of the best sets of brothers racing in the Midwest. We've got the green-black 20 laps Grand National A feature. The 95 car of Jeff Bonney has the pole position. The 8-ball car of Glenn Roby, and Roby into turn number 2 and into the backstretch will take the first lap lead. Bonney sliding back, and the 68 car of Gary Jones also forcing the action and getting up there near the number 2 position. But right now it's Glenn Roby in that number 8 car sliding around with the first lap lead. A lot of dust flying, very little contact. These guys are going at it in our Grand National A.
Jason Hopscheid has settled into 4th position. Not bad for a rookie.
This is the cleanest start we've had so far tonight, knock on wood. It's been extremely clean for Glenn Roby. He has moved out to a 5-car length lead on the 68 car of Gary Jones, who has snuck up from the outside of row number 2 into 2nd place. Jeff Bonney, who was our pole leader, sits in 3rd. Jason Hopscheid in 4th in the 78. There's our leader in the 8 car, Glenn Roby. One of the familiar guys in, we've got contact cars flying around in turn number 4, but everybody's still going. How about that?
Looks like Jason Hopscheid got a little loose coming out of turn 4 and lost control, and well, it put him back from 4th almost to the back of the field. He's still losing control. Coming out of turn 2, he's finally got it under control. Way back there from 4th, I'd say, to about 14th. Lost about 10 spots.
Well, I tell you what, we had cars flying around there, very little contact, and to their credit, no contact, and we continue with our race. The Grand National A feature, everybody bunched up now. The leaders of the race are starting to string themselves out. Roby with a comfortable lead, and now we've got contact.
Jason Hopscheid
around. Hopscheid may have had a suspension problem. Something may have broke on that car because he had problems going around there the entire way. I don't think he had good control going back to that previous incident.
No. Just the car seems to be getting away from him tonight, obviously. I mean, that's could be an understatement. Still moving, but I think he's out of the race. He hit that pretty hard. Rather, he hit the wall pretty hard. I don't think we'll see Jason Hopscheid back.
Well, we've got a red-yellow flag situation here in our Grand National A. Let's send it to Kevin Kugler, who is with our winner of our Pro-Am feature, Scott Waldron.
Scott, congratulations on your win tonight. You had to make a tricky move there at the end to get in front. We weren't sure you were going to be able to do it.
Yeah, the track was real slick, and everybody's slipping and sliding around. But other than that, I went pretty good.
Now, this is your 3rd win in a row. What more is left for you this season?
We're done for the season here. I don't race at any other tracks but here.
Well, it's a pretty nice way to go out on top there in the Pro-Am A feature. Congratulations on your win, Scott, and best of luck to you in the next season upcoming.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you. Scott Waldron, the winner of the Pro-Am feature.
Boy, that Pro-Am feature was a fantastic race all the way around. Scott Waldron was able to get that win. We've got a couple of great races. Kevin Larkins earlier on, we saw that one. But here are the results of our Pro-Am A feature. Again, the winner, Scott Waldron. Marvin Fuller
dominated that race, but Scott Waldron was able to catch him with Wally Wilson in the way there.
Marvin Fuller finishing in 2nd. Mike Roby in 3rd position. Larry Robinson Jr. in the 57 car finishing in 4th, and our points champion Dave Cook ran a rather uneventful race and finished in the top 5.
All he has to do is finish.
Well, he didn't want to get out of this race with any damage to that car. He'd already won the championship. And we've got his car spun out, sitting backwards on the track right near the pit entrance.
He may have been trying to get into the pit entrance, but didn't quite make it.
This is Jason Hampshire. This is what caused all the problems. And again, he'd been going around the track the last lap rather loosely, but he's got his car under control now, and he'll make the restart here. But he was really running well up there in 4th position. Had some problems, moved back into the pack, like Bill said earlier, maybe around into 14th place.
John Kinney Jr. is asking for a push there in the pit entrance, rather.
He's going to have to wait a little bit until we get the pace lap by Glenn Roby in the number 8 car with the lead, and Gary Jones Sr. with the 2nd place position. There's Hampshire getting loose again, touching the wall high in turn number 1.
Well, amazingly, no suspension damage apparently to Jason. He will be sent back to the back of the field, but he's still out there able to run.
Well, I really thought he may have had a problem though, because he was loose that entire way around that time. But he got it under control. He's still out there and still racing.
I guess we'll see in a lap or 2.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I believe that was at the Rankin car that was being pushed out.
John Kinney Jr.
John Kinney Jr.
K9. Well, that may have been Chuck Rankin.
Chuck Rankin in the K9. He was listed in the 03. 20 laps in our Grand National A feature. Glenn Roby, he's been around a long, long time racing in eastern Nebraska and in the Midwest. 44 years of experience. Driving out of Omaha. Moving along slowly on that backstretch. Jones in the 68 is settled in there in 2nd place. The 95 car of Jeff Bonney, our pole sitter, is in 3rd. We've got the I-80 track covered pretty well tonight. Camera angles from every which way, able to give you the best racing action that we can possibly bring you. Had a great time here back in July. Again, we heard from the folks in the state of Nebraska and the surrounding areas wanting to see more racing action here on Nebraska ETV, and we are pleased and proud to be able to bring it to you. They'll see the green flag as they get to the backstretch, and they'll go racing one more time. Single file as they conclude this pace lap.
Just confirm that was John Kinney Jr. in the K9 that got pushed into the pits.
So the numbers are reversed from the reversal.
Absolutely.
So that means Chuck Rankin is back in the 03 car.
And doing fine.
And they're through the cone. They've got the green flag. The lights are off, and here we go. Jones forcing the issue on the inside, forcing Roby to the middle line, and Jones making a run for the lead. But boy, look at the power that Clint Roby has in that 8 car as he shuts the door going into turn number 1.
It's always a good race between Glenn Roby and Gary Jones in this Grand National Division. These two guys dominate this most often.
And we've got another incident on the restart. That's Butch Lavelle in the 1 car. And he has had some contact. We've got 2 cars actually in there in the wall. Just going into turn number 2. That's the 11K car. And another car that we don't have in our opening roster. But looks like there was some pretty good contact there.
Might be Justin Hopscheid in the 11 car, or Dave Jurgensen. Well, that's Butch Lavelle in the car number 1 right there.
And it looks like he's got some problems with that front end. He may have gone in there kind of hard. We'll get a chance to take a look at it here. They're sliding around there in turn number 1 together.
Right. It gets like Butch Lavelle gets collected from the really no place to go.
That is the 11 car of Justin Hampshire, not the 11K. So both of the Hampshire cars here in our Grand National A feature have had some problems. Both of them up there in turn number 1.
Of course, Butch Lavelle won the heat race earlier, so he was having a super night.